It wasn't until 5 black students applied for graduate and professional programs at the University of Florida in 1949 did they decide, okay, even though Plessy versus Ferguson said separate but equal, the Supreme Court itself had ruled in the Gaines case that you can't just say outsource it to DC, you have to provide for it in the state of Florida. And so once these black students applied for University of Florida, they created the FAMU College of Law on paper on December 21st, 1949 for the express purpose of keeping the University of Florida segregated. So they allocated about $400,000 for the building, about $97,000 a year for salaries for everyone. And then 2 years later, in September 15, 1951, the Division of Law began at the FAMU College of Law. They didn't want us to have it, and once they wanted to keep the University of Florida separate, once we got the law school and once sort of segregation or integration became the law of the land, then there were efforts to get rid of the College of Law. And by then, Florida State wanted a College of Law in Tallahassee, and so in 1965 they came up with the decree, don't admit any more students to the FAMU College of Law. And then by attrition, by the time they got to 1968, the last class graduated in 1968, and that closed the FAMU College of Law. Effort after effort to get the College of Law returned. It would happen every 5 years. At the time, we had a Board of Regents, and you had to come up with a justification for new programs. And Dr. Humphreys, once he got here in 1985, he had the wisdom to always ask for it. Every 5 years, he asked for the return of the College of Law. He was a student at FAMU when we had one. His son was a very successful attorney, so he wanted that program returned to the College of Law. And that had never happened in the history of this country, where a program was lost to segregation, to desegregation, and was actually returned. And so once they told us we couldn't do it, we kept fighting until they forced them to do it, and we succeeded despite all odds. And so I think that's the takeaway. That's the same skill set that you need to matriculate through law school, to succeed on the bar and to practice in the law. That sometimes against all odds, on behalf of your client, you need to go ahead and excel.